Some of us may say that life is a bitch. I heard a certain someone saying this to me, and what surprised me the most is that after that certain someone said that line, he or she laughed out loud, as if life is not only a bitch but also a joke. Well, my dear brothers and sisters, what he or she said is true. I attended this, I think, a born again Christian service, and the pastor a lot of Ecclesiastes verse, and to summarize all of that, it would say that life is meaningless. I'm very sorry that in this speech I will not present to you any Bible verse because, to tell you guys the truth, I'm not fond of reading the Bible. The only book I have finished is the first book of Moses, which is Genesis. To summarize what he taught, I can say that life is meaningless if we don't put God at the center of our lives. I remember what my Filipino Christian living teacher taught us. He said that if you put I at the center of our lives, it becomes a sin, which is true, right? Life is meaningless, boring, and plain. Who watched Full Metal Alchemist here? I'll give you a quote by Izumi.
When you live, your life will end sooner or later. The body will return to earth, grass and flowers will grow on top of it, the soul will nourish the hearts, and it will live on the hearts of other people. Everything in this world flows around and circulates. That goes for human lives too.
What she meant is that life is just another cycle. Here's another quote from Edward Elric.
The great flow that maintains the universe, we call it the cycle of life, course of nature. Each of us is just a small part of that current, one in the all, and without all the individual ones, the all can't exist. The world flows by following greater laws we can even imagine. To recognize that flow and work within it, to decompose and recreate.
He meant to say that everyone is a part of this world. God didn't create you without a reason. That is also the reason why we have to live a happy life. I present 5 points in living a happy life. I'll give you this quote from FMA again. Roy Mustang said,
The world's not perfect, but it's there trying the best it can, and that's what makes it so damn beautiful.
The first point I'm going to say is to enjoy every little things that life has to offer. Whatever greatness you have now is a product of many things that you have encountered or experienced. Many of us think that the things that can make them really happy are the greatest things or events that can happen. For example, when one person has 20 pesos in his pocket, what do you think he will do? For someone who wants to have something greater from his 20 pesos, he would go to the nearest lotto outlet for a chance to win millions of pesos. I would like to disclaim that betting lotto is something that is bad. In fact, lotto is good for the country and a good practice for people to hope for a good tomorrow. Now back to the topic I'm discussing. For someone who wants to enjoy his 20 pesos, he would go to the nearest convenience store and buy a cornetto ice cream. Can you guys see the difference? One is a 0.000, many zeros, 25% winner. And the other one is a 100% winner. So if you want to rephrase the first point, play games where you can win. But why did I say little things? It is because as an individual one can only do little things. Where does greatness came from? Greatness came from the combined efforts of every individual. Little things are everywhere. It may be a moment, a thing itself, a person, a food, a centavo coin thrown at the sidewalks, or we ourselves. Here's a quote from the movie Zombieland.
You can spend all your time worrying about your next Twinkie is going to come from. So follow rule number 32. Enjoy the little things.
So now, what are the things, persons, or moment you hold dear? Does those things as significant for you as for other people? If not, why do you hold it dear? The second point I want to say is to work for justice. What is justice anyway? A common dictionary would say that it is fairness or equality. If that's what you guys believe, then let us reflect on what Emperor Charles Britannia said on Code Geass.
All men are not created equal. Some are born smarter or more beautiful or with parents of greater status. Some by contrast are born weak of body or mind, or with few, if any, talents. All men are different. Yes, the very existence of men is discriminatory. That's why there is war, violence, unrest. Inequality is not evil.
I believe in what he said. Therefore, man in nature is born unequal. Another quote from Code Geass. If strength is justice, then powerlessness is a crime? You guys know the answer to that. Justice is something for the weak to hope on but never had, and the strong have. Justice is something that where the curtains are down, it also disappears. So how do we work for justice? It is as simple as the strong protecting the weak. After all, as Yale Pantam Hive of Black Butler said,
Justice in this world is just a bunch of principles made by those who are in power to suit themselves.
well, how can you live happy if you're protecting the weak even though they have nothing to do with your lives? The answer is simply something that lies within your hearts and something that separates a human person from an animal. And another quote from Makarov, a fairy tale, will answer that for you.
Weaklings will stay weak forever, but weakness is not evil, since humans are weak creatures to begin with. Alone, you'll feel nothing but insecurity. That's why we form guilds. That's why we have friends. We walk together in order to live a strong life. The clumsy ones will walk to more walls than the others, and it may also take them longer to get there. But if you believe in tomorrow and put yourself out there, you can naturally obtain strength. That's how you will be able to smile and live strong.
Will you take the challenge to work for justice? The third point I want to say is that one should go back to the basics. In this ever-changing world, everything gets complicated. Humans evolved from the use of stones to the use of drones. Even the economic system becomes more complicated. Also, as small as a household system becomes more complicated. For example, a family basically in a stereotypical context should have one father and one mother and their children. But why is that many families have two mother and a father? Or vice versa? Another simple example is our math subject. As we go on a higher level, the problems become more complicated. But to tell you guys the truth, there is no such thing as complicated in this world. It's just a matter of mind setting. Every complicated things or problems in this world have the very simple basic foundation. So if you guys find yourselves in a complicated situation, breathe deep and simply go back to the basics. The fourth point I want to say is to cherish every moment. I remember the quote from Oogway from Kung Fu Panda.
Yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why it's called the present.
Every moment of our lives are meant to be cherished. A moment with your friends, family, or community is all accounted to be cherished. Even the bad times are meant to be cherished. Why? It's because tears can be a powerful weapon for us to face what is to come. Every moment we have is a gift, just like what the quote said, which is why we must take care of it and live within it without regrets. A quote from Nat's Dragon fairy tale said,
We don't have to know what tomorrow holds. That's why we can live everything we work today.
I can rephrase the fourth point by do your best. Why? Because tomorrow may not come. You'll never know. A simple dinner with your family gives you happiness. Talking with your friends also gives you happiness. Also, a time of silence can bring you happiness. So I'll tell you guys this. The people we meet are just like the air. So cherish them while they're inside your chest. The last point I want to say is let everything you do be a part of your dream. I remembered a story told to Makino Tsukushi by Mr. Kaburagi in Hanyo Dango, the movie Final. He had a wife one time before they divorced. He asked her, "What is your dream?" Her ex-wife is a fashion designer, and as a fashion designer, she wanted to be world famous. Mr. Kaburagi thinks that his wife's dreams are great at that time. And at some time, it hit him. Not even one dream involved him. Then it's her wife's turn to ask the same question. At that time, all his dreams are about his career too. None of it involved her either. The most important thing for them was not each other. Everything you want to happen, attain, or wish are dreams. You will do anything to make it happen. If you have that kind of conviction, then you can do almost everything. Let everything you do be a part of your dream. If you want to have a happy love life, then let it be a part of your dream. If you want to have a successful career, then let it be a part of your dream. If you want to bring happiness to your family, then let it be part of your dream. There is no limitation on what you can dream. Everyone can be greedy in terms of dreaming. For example, why do we study? Isn't it because we dream for a better future? The question is, where do we start dreaming and do our best for our dreams to work out? The answer is simple, now. So now I'll ask you, what is your dream? Whatever you're doing now, is it a part of it?